Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and in this video, let's talk about Soldier 11 and her best teams. Now, perhaps you got lucky and you pulled her out of the standard characters, or maybe you have an objective you want to reroll until you get her. Regardless of which, I want to help you build the best teams for this character and for multiple situations. Not all of you are going to be pulling for Zhu Yuan or Ellen, and not all of you are going to be pay to wins, free to plays, be it there's so many different people. I'm going to have a team for every single one of you, not to worry about that, and I'll share with you opinions as we go along. So first things first, what is Soldier 11 good for? She is extremely good at fire application. Out of all of the standards, she has the best fire application or elemental application out of all of them. Definitely best fire. The only other standard character that hits everything in their own element is a character like Nekomata. The drawback to this insane fire application is that she's a very high skill unit. Think of it like not only you have to learn the enemy mechanics, but you also have to play a rhythm game on top of that, making it inherently high skill. If you're a person who doesn't like to learn all these kind of mechanics straight up, you want your learning curve to be a bit smoother, maybe this character might not be the best for you. But for those of you who like this character and want to actually hit that learning curve, let's start with the first team, which is going to be for the two banner characters at launch. This special section for you guys, the Zhu Yuan or Ellen teams, regardless of who you are focusing on at launch as well. In my personal opinion, I think she has poorer synergy with Ellen. Zhu Yuan is like kind of decent, but of course you can possibly branch them out. Like Ellen will settle the ice weaknesses, and then you can have another team with Soldier 11. So early on you can put them both together, and then later on you branch them out into separate teams. That can work quite well. Or perhaps you can just swap them out in the Hollow Zero if you're looking to tackle certain enemy bossing. It's still possible, but just not in the same team. Doesn't mean your account is inefficient in any way. At the early game, you can just like pair both of them together. So I won't be expanding on the bottom part. This is my personal opinion. And of course, the one that I think is slightly better is with Zhu Yuan, because Zhu Yuan has actually Aether related gears that help make her life as a sub DPS possible. And there are two things. So this is of course as of beta information. The numbers multipliers here might change a little bit. Chaotic Metal, the Aether set, gives a debuff on the enemy. Basically, once you have corruption, enemy takes 18% more damage, which is very nice because Zhu Yuan, for example, inflicts corruption. Soldier 11 can then pounce on it to do even more damage with her fire application, not to mention like disorder if she managed to proc some. And at the same time, if you proc corruption, they also get increased Aether damage, which is basically a very nice supportive or sub DPS role that Zhu Yuan can fulfill because of her nicer element compared to Ellen in that nature. In the synergy slot, I probably will play a character like Nicole to give you that Aether element that you can proc both of their passive. Soldier 11, yes, it's important, and unfortunately we still do not have one of the same faction, but when the day comes where Zhu Yuan maybe has a same faction fire character, that could be an interesting way at the same time. At least you're proccing quite a lot of corruption to give you a lot of the damage buff from the sets, as well as the additional damage that corruption does once you proc the Aether anomaly effect. So that is the two teams, mainly for the people who are looking at the banner. Not ideal, but not the worst for Zhu Yuan havers as well. The next team that I want to talk about was dominating a lot of the theory crafting that we did on the channel already. This is a mono fire team of Ben and Collider. For those of you who don't know, Collider and Ben are the only two characters in the game that have a very nice animation specially designed for them. They have additional multipliers when playing with each other. No other character, I'm not too sure about Lucy and Piper yet, but no other character has a unique animation and multipliers as of time of pre-launch. So this comp works with, compounding on this like double fire team here of Ben and Collider already, who don't really apply a lot of fire while they're on field, not enough to really proc if you don't build them specifically for anomaly. So adding in another fire DPS, for example, like Soldier 11, gives you a very well-balanced comp. So you have an attack here, you have a defense here, and you have a stun. So a very, very well-diversified comp with all fire. You have some offensiveness, some defensiveness. I think it's really, really strong already. This is probably going to be my recommendation for a mono fire team. The alternative, of course, maybe some of you do not have Collider, or perhaps you do not have Ben yet. You can use the new character as well. She's a support fire character that buffs attack, which is very, very good for all of them, except for Ben. Ben doesn't skill off with attack, he skills off with defense. So this, like, replacing Collider might not be the best, but replacing Ben with Collider could still function. I think that's like some alternative that for some of you who are interested in a mono fire team without the luck to get a Collider can consider as well. Next up, Burning Disorder. This is a very, very new team. These two characters were just released as of pre-launch. They teased it. They teased their faction as well. So I can't remember their names. They look Lucy and Piper, but I do know their element and their attribute. So this one is a fire support character, and this one is a physical anomaly character. Lucy or Piper, either way, I can't exactly remember which one is which. But the fire support gives attack buffs, the physical anomaly gives damage buff to the team as well. But more importantly, the physical anomaly here procs on top of the burning that you put on the enemy. When Soldier 11, because she applies like tons of fire, you have a support here that buffs double fire here to proc both of their passives. And these two are of the same faction, the Sons of Caldron or something like that. And all three gets their passive up. So this, in my opinion, is Soldier 11's comfiest team. Low fill time teammates, the both of them here, who offers buffs and anomaly based damage. She does that spinny thing, builds up like certain counters, hits that physical assault, and then you go back into, for example, Soldier 11 and continue like proccing burning, and then rotate proc disorder, burning into disorder. I think it's a very, very strong comp with good amounts of versatility. Probably Soldier 11's best comp. Previously, if some of you have been watching our previous content before these two characters were released, Soldier 11 was one of the most awkward characters because she didn't have a best team. If you look at this, even this mono fire, it requires a double for limited or S rank, which is very, very awkward. And even like Zhu Yuan or Ellen doesn't work well with her. So people who put Soldier 11 might feel like a little bit out of place. But with these new characters being introduced, I think we are much better off compared to before they were released. And last but not least, I want to give a bit of options for free-to-play players who are just getting into the game. You don't have these two units yet. Here are two options that you can go for. The first one is going to be Nicole, who is totally free. Ambi is totally free as well. Nicole is very low amounts of field time. She pops the thing, helps you get some CC in. They might not proc the synergy with, for example, Soldier 11, but they are both free units. Nicole offers you some crowd control. And you also have a support character, so you can put on like support gear to help buff your team even more. Anbi offers stun. They look almost the same, so I guess there's another pass. Soldier 11 and Anbi. But with stun, when the enemy is stunned, then of course your attack character can come in and dish out massive amounts of damage. But this is definitely a bit higher skill, because if you don't dodge with Soldier 11, you don't keep up her fire application, means you have to get that rhythm game correct in order to keep up that fire application if you're playing with a stun enemy. And that's just something to take note of. But overall, I think this is a pretty fun character. I might be playing this character a bit more as of official launch compared to the other characters, but we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as well. What characters are you looking for? And if you're wondering about all the other like 5-star characters, check out our tier list. We go a huge overview. Otherwise, we have a team comp for every other unit S rank as well on the channel. You can check it out. And thank you guys again so much for watching. See you in the next video.